Hello again, guys. So we'll proceed to fluids and nutrition, and let's jump again to the questionnaire. All right. So activity 8.1a, part 1. Food safety is essential when storing, handling, and preparing food. Fill in the table below to list 4 of the basic principles of food safety, including hygiene. So in here, it says basic principles of food safety. If we can go to the workbook and look for the answers there, it is on page 3. This one. And the answers are on bullets here. So it is essential that precautions are taken to ensure that food is safe to eat. There are some basic principles you need to keep in mind to protect all individuals when handling, storing, and preparing food. These include, so those are the answers, guys, over there. You can put remove jewelry before preparing food. That can be your answer. Another one, wash your hands thoroughly before touching food. That's another answer. Wash equipment in hot water between uses. So that's another one. Ensure food is cooked thoroughly. So that's all. That's 4 already. But we can continue for those who want to, because otherwise all of your answers will be the top 4. You can also select this one. So store food in sealed containers and keep cooled. Another one. Food stored in a fridge should be labeled, dated, and kept at 5 degrees Celsius. Another one, store raw meat below cooked food. Another one, prepare raw and cooked foods separately. And the last bit that you can also put as your answer, equipment should be washed in hot soapy water or dishwasher if available. So that is activity 8.1a, guys. Just select 4 among the answers given. Next, activity 8.1a, part 2. Thinking about where you work, describe why food safety, including hygiene, is so important when preparing and handling food. So based on what we've just learned, you could put your answer as food safety is important because it prevents the spread of bacteria that can cause illness. So that can be your answer. If we browse on to here, there could be answers as well. If you read through the workbook, this is about safety, and not only for the people we're looking after, but also amongst ourselves. So that's why it was saying about hygiene and as well as food safety. Okay, another example here would be cross-contamination, meaning if we're handling food and we're not careful, then we are spreading the infection. Example, hand washing, using PPE, all of those precautions. So this is not only pertains to the kitchen staff, but all of us, because time and again we'll be handling food, either by just helping if a person is asking for a glass of water, etc. So all the time we will be touching something, and that can cause cross-contamination. All right, I hope you got the answer there. Keyword, important that we adhere or we follow food safety to prevent cross-infection or cross-contamination. That's like the keyword: cross-contamination, cross-infection, prevent. Right. Next question. Activity 8.1b, part 1. explain the importance of good nutrition and hydration in maintaining health and well-being. Make sure you include the following in your answer. So there are words given already: carbohydrates, balance, fiber, eat well plate, vitamins, protein, bodily functions, and minerals. So we'll come up with an answer based on those words. So let's try it. Actually, it's also on page 3. It's here: importance of good nutrition and hydration in maintaining health and well-being. So if we read through that one, we can come up with answers. So hang on. If I were to use some of the words given here, I will say it is important that we eat a well-balanced diet, which are high in fiber, protein, and carbohydrates, vitamins, mineral, to help with our bodily functions and maintain a healthy body, and can use the eat well plate as a guide. That can be one answer. The other answer would be, it is important that we eat a well-balanced diet by using the eat well plate as a guide, which shows suggestions of foods which got fiber, protein, minerals, vitamins, and carbohydrates that helps maintain a healthy body and promotes good bodily functions. So it looks like we've covered the words in there. Alright, you can come up with your own wordings, but I think you can picture out that we use the word eat well plate, and in that eat well plate there are examples for foods rich in fiber, protein, minerals, vitamins, carbohydrates, and then that it helps with our bodily function. And the word balance, so you use it as like saying a balanced meal, balanced diet. Alright, next question, activity 8.1b. so this is part 2. What is the recommended daily amount of fluid an individual must consume to support good hydration? It says 1.5 to 2 liters, and it's somewhere here in the workbook. We'll just find it for you. Yeah, it's on page 5. It's on the top bit over here. Okay. And then the next question there is, how many 150 ml glasses would an individual have to consume to reach the minimum recommended amount? So it's 6 to 8 glasses. It's also written on top there, the 1.5 to 2 liters, or equivalent to 6 to 8 glasses. Alright, next question, activity 8.1c, part 1. Complete the diagram below to list the signs and symptoms of malnutrition. I've seen it earlier when we were looking for that glasses, or the how many liters of fluids. So let me just find it for you. It's just underneath. So this is, so it's on page 5. And so the signs and symptoms of malnutrition, it's over here. You got muscle weakness, feeling tired all the time, increased infections, more falls, constipation, lack of energy, gaining or losing weight, changes in behavior, depression, poor wound healing. So those are the answers, guys, our choices for the signs and symptoms of malnutrition. Next question, part 2. Complete the diagram below to list the signs and symptoms of dehydration. It's just below the symptoms of malnutrition, and we've got here, it's separated into two. Early signs and symptoms of dehydration. You got feelings of thirst as body tries to increase fluid levels. That can be your answer. Dark colored urine as it tries to reduce fluid loss. That's another one. Headaches, tiredness, and confusion as the flow of blood to the brain decreases. So that's another answer. And then there's some more answers, which is ongoing dehydration can contribute to, so constipation, urinary tract infection, kidney stones and infections, or poor wound healing. So those are the ongoing dehydration signs and symptoms. So it can also be your answer over 8.1c part 2. Okay, guys? And then the last question, 8.1d. As a healthcare support worker or adult social care worker, you are required to promote good nutrition and hydration, encouraging and supporting individuals to have the correct balance of food and fluids according to their care plan. For each of the examples below, explain how you would promote adequate nutrition and hydration for each individual. So there's like a diagram here. Individual, an individual who has had a stroke and whose muscles are weakened. So how would you promote adequate nutrition and hydration? With stroke, sometimes they will be able to use only one hand, so half of the body is paralyzed or is not working properly as it should before. So one way of doing that is to concentrate when you offer food, to concentrate on that good arm or good hand so that they can easily access the food or the tray or the plate. So if you put over the other side, and also some stroke affects their vision and they can only see half of what they're eating. So if you put it on the good side where they can see better, then that's helpful for them. Another one is to cut the food for them, because that's another challenge for using just one hand. And also with their chewing, it will help as well if we cut it into smaller pieces. So one answer would be placing the tray on the side that is accessible for them, and then the other answer could be cutting the food when serving. And another example as well is utensils that is appropriate for use for stroke person. So some are angled spoon or fork, so that is easy for them. And then another one is plate guard, so that when they're eating, the food doesn't go everywhere. So putting that plate guard, hopefully you're picking up with answers. So plate guards, cutting the food, using an appropriate utensils or the angled spoon or fork, and then putting the plate or food near the person and on the good side of their body or extremities. Number 2, or the next question, an individual who has dementia and forgets to eat and drink. So this one, you can use the word prompting. So you just keep reminding them, remind the person that they got their food in front of them. Another one is clock. If they got a clock, they would remember or remind themselves what time it is. So sometimes with dementia, they forget that it's lunch, and when they see the clock, oh, it's 12 noon, it reminds them that, oh, that's why there's food here, this is my lunch. So that's another one. But the most effective is staff should always prompt or remind the person about their meal. Another question, an individual who has a visual impairment and needs assistance to maintain their independence when preparing food, eating, and drinking. So, visual impairment might not be that they can't see, that they're blind. It's just probably they got poor eyesight. So, if you can offer their eyeglasses when they're eating, then they can see their food, or when they're preparing food, that's very essential. The other one is some can see clearly when the food is near them, so placing the table on an appropriate height, so, or the way to put it, because the box is just small for your answer, you can just say put the table closer. That's one. Lighting, so if the room is dark, turn on the lights, or offer to turn the lights on or open the curtains. So lighting, putting the table near, and then the other one is obviously offer their eyeglasses. Okay, so that's standard 8. We'll see you again on the next standard.